A few minutes after I had woke up, I had got a download. Matter of fact, before I took a nap, I got a download to talk about this book. I haven't pulled this book down from my shelf like in a minute, but the download that I got was to talk about the book. Okay, and this book is God Works Through Faith by Dr. Robert Russell. Let me share this with you guys, okay? A few About a year ago, when I fasted for 7 days, right? I had did a water fast. Hey Tracy, peace to you, baby, peace to you, peace to you. I had did a water fast for 7 days, and last year, and I remember when I was doing my water fast. Oh my goodness, like the meditation, meditating throughout the day, listening to Dr. Miles Monroe. And that's what really helped me to stay on my water fast, right? And I remember it was like memories that I was having. Really? I was live earlier too. It was memories that I had of my sister Melissa, when I was a kid, and how my faith was, right? And for some reason or another, I just kept thinking about that. How strong my faith was. And I remember it was a few moments, well, a few times. Like one time I was meditating and I just kept crying. I didn't know why, like, I just kept on crying. And during my fast, it was like my relationship with God, it became stronger. Now you guys know I don't say God is not outside you, okay? Um God is within. All right. You are a creator, right? So you was created in God's image. All right. You are a creator of your reality. And but before my water fast, I remember it was times where as though I didn't want to say God, because I didn't want people to um misconstrue like my belief, right? I didn't want people to associate me saying God with religion, because I'm not a part of religion, okay? Um but after I did my water fast, and it's so funny because all my videos, I've been doing content since 2018, you know, and when I would say God, I wouldn't say, like, I didn't care for saying God. I will always care for saying like the universe and stuff like that, right? But after my water fast, it was just something in me that really changed my relationship, okay, with God, right? And so tonight, when I got the download for me to do um this book, right? To talk about this book. And again, this is God Works Through Faith, okay? And I remember when I read this book was recommended by Bob Proctor. Okay, mainly all my books I have, Bob Proctor mainly recommended them. Either Bob Proctor or Kevin Trudone, but mainly Bob Proctor. And so one of the things that you guys have to understand and start realizing is that success leaves clues, okay? And if you want to live the life that the successful people live, you have to do the thing that successful people do. All the people I mainly listen to, they read, okay? Um, but I remember when I brought this book and I decided to take this book on the train with me one day. And it was some parts of this book that I was reading. I can't remember exactly which part, but I remember I was standing outside waiting for the train, and tears just started coming to my eyes. Okay, I was about to cry. Right, so literally, like I was literally crying, but I wouldn't allow the tears really to come down. I was trying to hurry up, and wipe them before they could come down because I didn't want people to see me outside crying, jail. But I remember when I read this book like the first time. Oh my goodness, it's so good. This is like one of those books that's like really really good. And I don't really talk about um this book as much, but this is definitely one of those books. And so I'm gonna read to you guys a little bit of what it says. Okay, so it talks about how faith works. If you are going to say the prayer of faith, you must not only back it up with acceptance, belief, and trust, but you must empty your mind of everything that contradicts or denies the prayer. That is why St. Paul said, our conversation is in heaven. It is difficult to think and speak constructive, positive, happy, victorious, life giving words when the mind is filled with anxieties, apprehensions, and dang, I just had this word. Anthopes, is it anthopes? All right, doubts, criticisms, and fears. Just when some great challenge or opportunity comes along, which would enrich our lives or improve our circumstances, we are stopped dead in our tracks by a sense of doubt, fear. Some sinister thought wiggers up out of the subconscious mind and says, beware, this is not for you. You are not equal to it. You do not have what it takes. Let it alone. Okay. Let not your heart be troubled. So whenever you going, like say for instance, you have a goal, right? And you like, oh, I'm going to accomplish this, right? You will hear that voice, the chatter in the mind. It's going to tell you all types of things. You can't accomplish it. It's also going to tell you tired in many cases. It's going to tell you all the things that's to get you to not take action. Okay. And one of the things you have to understand is the more you don't take action, the more your life is going to be the same exact thing. And when I talk about action, Javine, 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 take a money sandwich out. When I talk about action, I'm talking about inspired action. Like when your intuition is telling you to do a thing, and maybe perhaps you saying like that don't make sense, right? Like your intuition it can tell you like the gut of that store. And then you can be like, but that don't make sense. Your intuition could also tell you, to drive out. I remember this has happened to me numerous times, and I know this happened to you guys too, because we all have an intuition. Our intuition is always speaking to us, okay? I remember when I first listened to rapper B.O.B., right? And one of the things rapper B.O.B. said was, he said, you already have this innate, like this birthright already of having your intuition and telling you, like what to do. And one of the things he said was, he said, so many people are relying on things outside themselves. And he gave this example of like the weather, right? And he was like, you don't need to watch the news in order to see like how the weather is going to be. Like you already have that, innate, ability to be able to, sort of tell. And one of the things that I do at first, I was like, now I haven't watched the news in like so long. I don't watch the news, okay? Um but one of the things that I thought was like, so how would you be able to know the weather, right? And common sense kicked in, and you'll be able to know what the weather is like by looking outside, looking out the window, see people walking, some people have coats on, so you could be able to tell. And then, it was like another thought came to me like, Dina, well, you can go right downstairs and see how the weather is going to be, right? And if, say, for instance, you put something on that's too heavy, you could always take it off. So, all these different thoughts was coming to my mind. Another thing was this, that I remember I got a download for me to go to this place. It's this beautiful place in New Jersey. It's called Duke Farms. Absolutely love it. Okay. I think I have one video of me walking Duke Farms. But it is so gorgeous. Is you out in nature. It's like trails. You could rent a bike, okay? And I remember one day, me and my oldest children, in fact, all my children been to Duke Farms numerous times. But I remember this one day, me and my children had went to Duke Farms, and me and my oldest two children, um, Xavier and Jada, we went to Duke Farms, and the trails, they have trails like is kind of long, okay? And in fact, you can actually get lost because it's huge. And they have orchids there, they have a greenhouse, they have like a waterfall, they have even, and it's all outside. They have a meditation area where you could go and meditate, where it's like the water is like a little waterfall. It's so gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. Duke Farms, okay. And I remember one day, me and my two oldest children, I decided to go to Duke Farms, and we had rented bikes and stuff like that. Oh my goodness, we had the time of our lives. Okay. We roll and roll and roll. I don't know how long we rode those bikes. Okay. I rented the bikes. We rode the trail. We had such an amazing time. And we got caught in the rain. In fact, it rained so hard, okay, and we still was riding the bikes. We still was riding, and those are the memories, right? The beautiful moments and stuff. We still was riding the bikes. In fact, they also have deers that come out, and I remember we was riding the bikes, and it was a deer that ran real quick, and I didn't know what the heck that was. Okay, but then we seen another deer that was like just standing there in the rain, and then later on it ran off. But we had such an amazing time. But that's not really the story I was gonna say. But I thought about that, that memory, such an amazing time. But I remember one day my intuition told me to go to Duke Farms, right? And this day I was pretty much by myself. And the drive from my home to Duke Farms is probably like 40 something minutes. Such really, really good. It's so many times I went to Duke Farms. Oh my goodness. I mean, just to be out in nature. They also have like a farmers market that comes on Sundays. Um, I can't stop talking about it because it's really good. But anyway, so I remember one day I had got a download for me to go to Duke Farms. And I was thinking, I was like, it looked like it's finna rain. And it's several times I got to download to go do something. And I said, one time I got to download for me to go and have a picnic by myself. Okay. Do you guys have picnics by yourselves? Like do you go in the summertime? The first time I did it, I felt like a little um uncomfortable, okay, because it was something that I never done before. But once I did it, like once I set like the sheet up, and I had fruit, I had like watermelon and everything like that. Yeah, Tracy, you got to do it. I mean, this is what I'm telling you guys, because the book, it says It talks about the subconscious mind, and says, beware, this is not for you. You are not equal to, you do not have what it takes. Let it alone. Okay. The reason I'm telling you guys these different things is because, one, I want you to start using your intuition. Okay. I want you to start being able to listen to that voice. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about the voice that's telling you you're not good enough, you not qualified. I'm not talking about that voice. I'm talking about that voice that is telling you to do certain things that maybe you are scared to do, right? Something just as, go to a different store, go out on a date. This week I'm doing eHarmony. Okay, I'm paying for eHarmony. Okay, so that things like that, to get out your comfort zone. Because if you keep on doing the same exact thing, my love, you're gonna keep on getting the same exact thing. And I know that deep down inside you really want something new. You really want something new. No matter how much you say you've been this way, you've been doing things for so many years this way, deep down inside is a part of you that knows you deserve better than the life that you have settled for. Okay. All right. Now where else I was going with this? Uh I lost that train of thought. But anywho, so I want you guys to, to listen to the intuition. Your intuition, it comes before anybody. Your intuition it always has your great interest. Okay. It's always going to tell you the easiest way to go. All right. And what causes frustration in our lives is when we don't listen to that voice, when we don't listen, when we don't use discernment, when we say, that don't make sense though. Right. When you keep on saying, oh, it don't make sense, and you keep ignoring it because you going based upon logic, you going based upon what you've been taught, what your parents taught you, what the school system taught you, not to listen to that voice, to listen to them and pay attention to this and all these different things. But what I know to be true is when you listen to your intuition, your journey your journey in life, it becomes so much easier. And I'm not saying it's not going to be triumph times. I'm not saying you're not going to have challenges, adversities. I'm not saying any of those, because you will in fact still have those things. But when you listen to your intuition, some things can be avoided. Okay. Oh, that's cute, Tracy. Tracy, Um, that's my oldest son. Tracy, you have a basket, like one of those wicker baskets. Oh, Tracy, if you don't have a basket, you could go to IKEA and get you a basket. They have cute baskets, like wicker baskets at IKEA. I was just at IKEA Sunday. I did a video of me going to IKEA. So you can get a basket from there. I think the baskets are like $15 or so. But they very, very cute. Really, really cute. Honey, you'll be styling and profiling. Okay. All right. So, let me see where else. Some sinners, oh, I read that. Let not your heart be troubled. Then start drawing upon your face. Face the difficulty, and say, God in the midst of me is able to conquer this thing. He is doing it now. I have faith to move mountains, and I am calling upon that faith now. I have the courage to conquer and subdue any adverse thing. But here comes that voice again. You are only kidding yourself. You are scared stiff. You haven't any courage, and you know it. How are you going to silence this voice? You are going to challenge it every time it speaks. You are going to make it tell you the truth. Say positively, forcefully, and with feeling. Subconscious mind of me, I am tired of your lies, and I command you to tell the truth. I command you to restore my courage and faith, and I command you to do it now. Speak as one with having authority. Let the subconscious know that you mean what you say. Imagination is a gift. Call upon your imagination. See yourself as you wish to be. See yourself possessing the things you desire to possess. Okay, and then it talks about Marcus Aurelius. One said, a man's life is dyed by the color of his imagination. Imagination is the process of projecting images upon the screen of the mind. You don't have to go through a lot of mental gyrations and exercises. You don't have to argue, reason, or divide. You just make a picture. You become aware of something you know. You just make a picture. You become aware of something you know, something. All right, that part didn't really make sense to me. All right, raise the level of your consciousness. Would you have God? Then you must accept him. You must become aware of him. You must be conscious of him. Do you see that? Do you understand it? Okay. So, Tim, you funny. You so funny. Okay, so what are some of the things that we can do? Okay. One, use our imagination, okay? And one of the reasons why I love books is because whenever you read the books, it stimulates your imagination, right? You start creating characters, like when you read the books, when you read the different stories. That's one. And then two, it also gives you hope. Okay. You start looking at other people's stories. Like a great book that I absolutely love is Florence Shen. I didn't even know Florence Shen. She was from New Jersey. But Florence Shen was around, I want to say around Neville Goddard's time. And one of the books that she has that I absolutely love is The Game of Life and How to Play It. Oh my goodness, man. You talking about if you want to read a book that is very inspirational, I highly recommend The Game of Life and How to Play It. Because that book, it has so many phenomenal examples of people who may be where you currently are today, right? I remember I was listening to Jim Rohn, and one of the things Jim Rohn said was, he said, is answers and books. And don't you know, if you read those books could give you the answer that you need, right? And he said he had a friend that had a book on his bookshelf, okay, that pertained, I think, to his relationship or something, like how to have a better relationship or whatever it was. And his friend didn't read the book. And if the friend would have read that book, it could have saved his marriage. Okay? And so you got to understand, if you continuously do the same exact thing, you're going to continuously get the same exact results. And so what I say to you is to be bold. Okay? Take a chance out on yourself. God can't work through you if you are operating in fear, because God don't reside in fear. Okay? God can't work through you if you are operating in hate. God don't reside in hate. Okay? You have to start doing things that is going to be for the betterment of your life. And a lot of times why we tend to get the results that we get is because we are in violation of universal laws. It's a book that I had recommended to you guys before by Raymond Howell. Okay, the 11 Forgotten Laws. Now, when you don't know the laws of the universe, okay, of course you're going to operate in ignorance because you don't know them. And it's so funny how we are working with the laws of the universe each and every day, but unaware. I remember my grandmother, she used to have this saying, she said, those seeds that you plant, you reap what you sow. And there's basically a law, of the universe. Okay, reap and sow. Whatever you plant, cause and effect. But I didn't know that, when I was a kid. I just, heard my grandmother always say, you reap what you sow. You get what I'm saying? So you have to ask yourself, what type of seeds am I sowing? What type of seeds are you sowing? If you are sowing seeds of hatred, right? Because you've been taught that other people have it better than you. You have been conditioned to believe that you are a nobody. And so you look at other people and you feel inferior. Okay? You're going to have to change that whole mindset. Family, let me go because my children ain't there and they got to go to bed. Okay? All right. So with that being said, I love you guys. Books I highly recommend is God Works Through Faith. Y'all got to go to bed. And I hope the kitchen is clean. Another book, The Magic of Thinking Big. Really, really good book, honey. This book I take a lot with me. The Magic of Thinking Big, and then also Psycho-Cybernetics, okay, by Maxwell Maltz. Such a good book, okay? Well, with that being said, I love you guys. Keep on growing, keep on going, and till tomorrow. I catch you guys on the up and up. Are you guys writing your gratitude journals? Okay, like, are you keeping your gratitude? You guys know I talk about gratitude journals all the time. Okay, all the time I talk about gratitude because you know what? When you are operating in gratitude, it's definitely gonna change your attitude. But when you operating in gratitude, not only will it change your attitude, but the more God wants to give, okay? But if you ungrateful, you focusing on what you don't currently have, and you keep talking about that, guess what? The more you will receive that. So get you a notebook, write down your gratitude list, things that you are grateful for, even if it's just 2 things, grateful for you waking up and something else, but make sure you are writing a gratitude list. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Amani and Javon.